Chris is on. Let's go. Hey guys, join me in a video as we go through Tampa Bay wade fishing in search for giants. What I like about wade fishing specifically, is that you can slow down and you can really sneak up on some very, very large fish. And a lot of times they won't even know that you're there. But what's beautiful about Tampa Bay, and what you may not know, is it's the largest estuary in all of Florida. With over 200 species inhabit the bay. You could catch a variety of species, but some of our known and most common ones are the snook, tarpon, redfish, flounder, and speckled trout. That is what we're famous for inside the Tampa Bay. And a lot of those species, or a large majority of those species, you can actually wade for in just inches of water when you're wintertime fishing in the Tampa Bay. Today, I'm excited to take you on an epic adventure as we explore a spot that's very well known to us, especially during the summertime. However, with the landscape being completely different on those negative low tides, you can really adjust and learn the bottom. So that way, when summertime fishing or spring and fall come up, you know exactly the layout. You know what's hidden underneath the water that you might not know, and it really allows you to establish what the fish are feeding on. Now, as I trek through this different area, you're going to look and you're going to notice that bait fish are pretty far and few between, especially as that water starts to trickle in. But what I did take note in is there's a lot of crustaceans. So especially around these oyster bars, and what you'll see. So what I'm looking for more specifically are oyster beds and troughs. And in those deeper troughs, a lot of times you'll find that these fish are mulling around looking for crabs, they're looking for shrimp, and I even think these little conch shells. These conch shells are all over the flat in the wintertime, and I'm going to go ahead and speculate that these redfish with those big old, because they have crushers in their throat, I'm going to be willing to bet that they inhale those little conch shells and then they crush them and eat the morsel inside. So the wintertime fishing, guys, is really awesome because you can learn a lot. You can really slow down and you can get stealthy. Hey guys, look how beautiful this is. Got Christopher out here. What up? We're trekking through the shallows, guys, and it is shallow. Beautiful morning. They said that we had an extreme fog warning, but I'll tell you, we ain't had no fog warning right now. So I'm not sure how they got that so wrong. It just goes to show you, it's just a forecast. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen.
It wasn't an extreme. It was like I mean, he said it right, extreme. But they were hyping it up like it was going to be the densest fog we've ever had this year.
And if you've never been out here in super dense fog, it's very tough. It's kind of scary as people are trying to drive around you, 2 foot of visibility. It just makes for difficult fishing. Anyway, we're out here looking for signs of life. First, we're going to go hit some oyster bars. We're looking for birds. We're looking for, bait fish. And then, of course, tails and just any signs of movement in the water.
Yep, you see him?
That's like
Right to the right.
12 o'clock.
About another 50 yards from my bait. No, 50 yards, 30 yards.
See, I seen something roll.
Yep, you're going to go right over him. You might be a little far, or you might be a little behind him. I don't know which way he's facing. I think he's facing that way.
Did you see a tail? Because I just saw something barely stick up.
Yes, I saw an absolute tail.
That's awesome.
You seen a big, he had a big old tail on him. Damn. Can't reach far enough.
We'll ease up.
I've seen him twice.
I thought I saw a glint.
The second time he came up, it was smaller. It was just barely stuck up.
So he's rooting around.
First,
That's what we're looking for. You miss it?
Yeah.
Chris is on! Let's go. Got that drag nice and loose? You might make me switch over to,
Dude, I sold you.
what you throwing there?
Hey, first we got that Okuma Inspira. This is a 3K. This is the perfect setup for wave fishing. 7.6 rod.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh, he was a little bigger, but he's still a real healthy fish.
Hey, that's okay. Look how beautiful that is, man. That doesn't get any better right there. What bait did he eat?
He's on a white shrimp, actually a Bass Pro one.
There you go. White is good, guys, in this clear water. Matter of fact, that's what my other lure is for soft baits. Nice. Here, hold this. I get him, or you want to get him? Oh, he gulped that thing, dude.
Yeah, he hit it twice.
There you go. There, I'll trade you. That's a good fish, bro. Let me get a picture. All right, Chris is on the board. Saw Plastic did it first.
Let's go.
Photo. All right, turn this one. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Get you a drink, really.
Beautiful fish, guys. Not bad for a first one. We'll take it.
Hey, first fish of the morning. Check out how white she is.
That's about a 23, 24 inch fish.
Oh, all day.
Yeah.
Fat head on. Wow. I'm surprised she went so fast.
Go on, buddy.
That cold water. Just for reference, guys, this is the shrimp I was talking about. The Bass Pro Shop shrimp. They work pretty good, the saltwater series. So, hey, don't knock it till you try it.
All right, so what was cool about that, guys, is that we saw the fish. Chris saw the fish tailing. I got a glimpse of him, just a small one, but he saw him. He cast it in that vicinity, and sure enough, Mr. Redfish was hungry. And I'm telling you, if you want exciting fishing, right now I'm retying on a soft plastic with a Berkeley jig head, but if you want exciting fishing, you need to come out and do some sight fishing. It's also a good way to get some exercise, and it's really just pleasant because there's not a whole lot of traffic, you know, not a lot of people. I'm going to be putting these on right here. Gulp just sent me these. It's called the Dragon Tail Big Money. I like that name. But what I was just telling you before is this white. What? How do you know? This white is really, really good for clear water. I'm gonna rig this up and I'll show it to you. All right, that's what we're using right here. Cool. So every now and then these fish will show you a little sign that they're there. So you really got to be aware. We do have a little bit more wind this morning, so that makes it a little bit more challenging in the sense of seeing the fish and the ripples. Now, choosing the right fishing technique is crucial. Now, you have options, of course, live bait, but I like artificial. So a beautiful thing that you could do with wade fishing is this one man, one rod. It's you and Mother Nature. You're gonna grab your one rod, you're gonna grab your few lures, and then you're gonna go and search for these redfish, snook, trout, and so forth in the Tampa Bay. Now, I like the simplicity of it. I also like the fact that I only need this one light outfit. Now, I use a couple different ones. In this particular video, I'm not using this one, but I wanted to show you this as well. So this particular outfit is the ITX 2500. It's considerably smaller and compact in size, but what I notice is, and it's a 7'6" medium action, so a lot more limber. It's great for the trout, the backbone isn't as stiff, but you really get a good whip when you're casting. Now in this video that you're seeing, I'm using the Inspira 4000. Now what I find is on those spinning reels with a 4000, you get a little larger diameter in your spool. So when you sling that rod and it whips, you're going to get a little more spring and a little further cast because the diameter of that spool is a little wider. So it doesn't have to work, and there's less energy, so to speak, that you have to use to make that cast that much further. But so depending on what you're trying to do, if you're trying for longer casts, I say go with the 4000. If you know you're going to be throwing that artificial all day long and you just want to feel good, go with the lighter outfit, the 2500. I think you'll be satisfied with that. It's got 10-pound braid, so it's really going to allow for the extended cast as well. Now, in the wintertime, when that water is crystal clear, especially in the Tampa Bay, I like to downsize that leader to a 20-pound fluorocarbon soft steel. Now, there's arguments that, hey, monofilament, fluorocarbon, it's all the same. I just go with fluorocarbon. It's very abrasion resistant, and anything that I can help my odds or increase my chances of catching that big one, I want to do. Now, there's a multitude of different types of baits you can use, but when you're fishing those negative low tides in the Tampa Bay, there's a couple go-to ones. We're going to talk about those. In this particular excursion, I was with Chris. We chose to wear waders. There's a few different ways. On these negative lows, guys, you don't technically need waders. If it's warm enough, you could just put on some swim trunks and some, water sock type shoes and go about your business. The reason I prefer waders is because it allows me a lot of pocket room, so I can carry, instead of carrying a bag, in which I'll show you, and I oftentimes do carry a bag, but if you don't want to, you can do a more simplistic trip and put everything inside your pouch there and then go about your business. But there's a couple pros and cons to that. Obviously, without the waders, you're getting wet, so you're going to be a lot colder because my waders are insulated. But on the downside to that, the waders are actually, they'll chafe you. So if you're not wearing like sweats or a pant underneath plus a long sock, you're going to get chafed as you walk those miles and miles, and it really can be bothersome over a few hour period. So really it just depends on your comfort level and how you feel. And of course, with the waders, you get a pretty large boot that makes you feel protected, because in the wintertime, you do definitely need to be cautious. There are stingrays all over the flat, so make sure you're doing that little shuffle. You don't have to do anything crazy. When you're in crystal clear water, you're most likely going to be able to see what's in front of you regardless, but sometimes they'll bury themselves in the sand, and if you step on them, I promise you they know how to use that barb. But we're going to get back to the baits. There's a few awesome baits that I really like. And when Chris was with me, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what he was using as well and why it was effective. So I started off with the topwater. Now, topwater is really good, especially if you have mullet and stuff around. During the wintertime, there's a lot less mullet, except for when you get into the deeper water canals and things. So as we were wading and walking through this shallow water, and I'm talking just 8-9 inches of water, with that sun rising from the east, it's so amazing what you can see. And in that shallow water, when them redfish start to mull around in the dirt and the sand, that tail will come up and it'll hit that sunlight just perfectly, showing you a beautiful glimmer. I mean, it almost looks like a painting, but it instantly tells you that, hey, there's a redfish there. So therefore, you want to try to cast in the direction that it's going, a few feet ahead of it. You don't want to throw that lure right on top of it. But so what you're really looking for is not necessarily mullet, but any type of movement, tailing, movement on the water, just on the surface, and things like that. So with that being said, Chris actually started off the day using a white and clear shrimp and a jig head, little 1/8 ounce jig head. So when you're fishing super shallow water, you want to use as light a jig head as possible. You want to minimize that splash, and you don't need a lot of weight, guys. You're just in inches of water. So when I was throwing top water and I realized that the fish accepted his offering way quicker than mine, because I had some really good casts beaded up on him, and he completely ignored the surface bait. I quickly changed up to this new gulp and the white with black flake. They call this the Dragon Tail Big Money. I like that name. But what's great about this is the color is right for that clear water. It's a great profile, great size, and it also has the scent of the gulp that's just undeniable. Now, I pair that with a little 1/8 ounce Berkeley jig head with a 3/0 hook. Now, I went with the white. Everything is clear, crystal clear water. I went with the light white colors, and that is how I ultimately found success out there on this day. All right, guys, let's see a fish right here. I don't know what kind it is. Might be a stingray. Oh, it's a puffer fish. What's going on, buddy? Oh, it's a cowfish. What are you doing? You got yourself in trouble. Huh. Don't say I didn't catch a fish today. He beached himself. I'm gonna help you, buddy. Hang on. I thought I was gonna catch a fish, guys. That's a puffer fish done stranded himself. Here you go. Where you going? Going the wrong way. You gotta do it again. You dweeb. Alright, there's a bite. There he is. Not sure what it is though. Oh, it's a flounder. Ah, nice. Oh, wow. He really swallowed that thing. Little baby flounder. Not too shabby. Hey, buddy. You gonna give me that back? He's like, no, I don't think so. Alright, I got it. Here he goes, guys. Should be alright. Yeah, there he goes. He swam off. Oof. Alright, buddy. Tried to do that as efficiently as I could. He choked that thing. Come on. Big old trout. Look at that yellow mouth. Oh, it's a big one. He is not happy. Holy smoke. My goodness. He inhaled that thing. Look at the size of this trout. Gosh, he's got it in his gullet. Guys, look at the size. Oh, look at the size of this trout. Of course, Chris ain't nowhere near me, so I can't get a picture. But this is a big old girl. Look at that. Holy smokes. What a beauty. There she goes. What a beauty. Big old trout. That's what it's all about. So that tide's coming in, and what I'm doing is I'm fishing some of these sandbars and right along the edges of them. And so far, a flounder and a big old gator trout. That trout was probably 22, 23 inches. Let's keep going. So on this day, we, definitely explored a lot of areas. I made my way to a nice oyster bed. And the tide, as it started to push in, I noticed that, those fish became, a lot more active and started coming in and moving further into the trees as that water pushed in. But I moved over and I found a nice deep cut, like a bowl. And in this bowl, what's great about it is you have the structure of the rocks, and then you also have the grass beds, and then the sandbars. If you could find a nice deep hole, especially on a negative low where there's water, a lot of times those fish will get trapped in those areas, and it's like shooting fish in a barrel. And essentially, even though the bite wasn't fire, we caught some really good ones. I caught a really nice trout. I estimate it to be over 20 inches, probably 21, 22 inches realistically. And it was just working, fanning that area in that bowl, and ultimately hitting that grassy area until we found the big trout. And sure enough, it wasn't just one. He had a few other buddies with him in that area as well. And of course, awesome flounder are going to be in those same vicinities. So it's really cool. And you just never know. When you go out there and wade, especially in the wintertime, there's a large variety of different species that you can run into or encounter. And it's really just a great time to become one with nature. And I find that when I'm out there in my kayak and wade fishing, I'm the most relaxed. When I'm in the boat, I just want to catch fish, fish, fish. When I'm out there doing my thing, I, I'm able to just chill out, relax, and really focus on what I'm out there to do, but also learn the area and enjoy the Mother Nature. Hey, I'm glad you guys enjoyed me on this excursion. If you liked the video, make sure you give a thumbs up. I have seen a huge uptick in interaction, shares, likes, and subscriptions over the last few weeks, so I do really appreciate that. Guys, I just created a membership area. If you look at the video on the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see a little join now, something like that. It's a $4.99 a month subscription. If you find that the content has been enjoyable or helpful, go ahead and subscribe to that. I really do appreciate it. It'll allow me to continue to make great content for you. And guys, I really hope that we can continue to serve you and help teach you. I really do enjoy being out there on the water, and I do enjoy making some of these videos. So make sure you give a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you on the water.